Okay, once again, Florida Department of Education 2013 educational appropriations and funded by the Educational Enhancement Lottery Trust Fund in February 2014. The history policy, Florida Educational Enhancement Lottery Trust Fund's appropriation for the official year, Educational Lottery Trust Fund appropriations operation capital outlay. The appropriations from Educational Enhancement Lottery Trust Funds from 2012 to 2013, 2014 followed through these official years as they proceed through pages 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18, and 20, 2013, 2014 programs, project funded educational enhancement, lottery trust fund, public school systems, Florida colleges, student, state university student financial aid, and educational enhancement, lottery trust fund. Total operation funds for the education 2013, 2014 Educational Enhancement Lottery Trust Fund allocations of operations 2013-2014 FEFP second calculation district discretionary lottery fund school recognition program Bright Future Scholarship Program student disbursement country county and year K-12 public school capital outlay construction bonds historical analysis general revenue and bond educational enhancement the trust fund financial outlook statement. Okay, history and policy of education. I wonder where the start of this book is. All right, let's start. History and policy of Florida lottery and education. November 4th, 1986, a constitutional amendment was passed by the statewide election creating an Article 10, Section 15 of the Constitution of the State of Florida. Of the 3,208 and 295 votes were voted on the amendment of 39,437 or 63.57% voted for the amendment of while 1,168 and 858 or 36.43 voted against Article 10, Section 15 reads as follows. Section 15 operated lottery. Lotteries may be operated by the state if in any subsection or subsections of the amendment of the Florida Constitution are held unconstitutional for containing more than one subject. The amendment shall be limited to a subsection A above. Lotteries may be operated by the state. C. The amendment shall be implemented as follows. 1. The schedule only the effective date of the amendment of the lottery shall be known of the Florida Educational Lotteries. Net proceeds derived of the lottery shall be deposited to the state trust fund to be designated for the state educational lotteries trust fund to be appropriated by the legislators. The schedule may be amended by the general law. History proposed by initiative petition filed by the Secretary of State June 10, 1985, adopted in 1986. The 1987 legislature enacted the Florida Public Educational Lottery Act, Chapter 87 through 65 Laws of Florida, which implemented the constitutional amendment, Section 24.1022. Florida state statutes represents the expression of the intent of the Florida legislature for the lottery. 24.102 purposes and intent. The purpose of this act implements the statute 15 of Article 10 of the state constitution in any manner enables the people of the state to benefit from significant additional monies. The education enables people to play on the best lottery games available. 2. The intent of the legislator. The net proceeds of lottery games conducted by pursuant to this act is used to be as supportive improvement public education. This such proceeds not be used to substitute the existing resources of public education. B. The lottery games may be operated in Department of the State government functions as much as possible in the manner of entrepreneurial business enterprise. The legislator recognizes that operation of the lottery is unique activity of the state government that structured procedures appropriate for the benefit performance or of other governmental functions as not necessarily appropriate to the operation of a state lottery. See, the lottery games may be operated as self-supporting revenue produced by the Department. D. The Department may be accountable for legislator to legislate and people of the state through the system of audit reports through the compliance with the financial disclosure, open meetings, and public record laws. The history of this statute 2, chapter 87 through 65, statute 5 through 91.45. Florida Public Education Lottery Act is also created section 24.121. Florida statutes, which governs the allocation revenues, expenditures of lottery funds, is amended by the chapter law. Chapter law noted in the history, section 24.121 Florida state statutes now reads as follows. 24-121 allocation of the revenue expenditures funds for public education. Variable percentage of gross revenues of the sales of online instant and lottery tickets shall be returned to the public in the form of prizes paid by the department retailers and authorized act. A variable percentage of the gross revenue sales of online instant lottery tickets retained to the public in the form of the prizes established by the department in the manner of designed to maximize the amount of funds deposited under Section 2. Each fiscal year, variable percentage of the gross revenue from the sales of online instant lottery tickets are determined by the department consistent with the subsection 1 and other earned revenue, excluding the application processing fee, shall be deposited in an educational enhancement trust fund, which is hereby created by the state of Treasury to be administered by the Department of Education. The Department of the Lottery shall transfer monies of the educational enhancement trust fund at least once each year, once each quarter. The Department of Lottery shall transfer money to the Educational Enhancement Trust Fund at least once each quarter. Funds of the Educational Enhancement Trust Fund shall be used to benefit the public education in accordance with the provisions of this Act. Nothing withstands any other provision of the law. Lottery revenues transferred by the Educational Enhancement Trust Fund shall be reserved as needed and used to meet requirements for the documents authorizing the bond issued by a state pursuant to Statute 1013-68, 1070, Statute 1013-73, 737, are distributed to the school district of the Classroom First program as provided in Statute 1013-68.68. Such lottery revenue is hereby pledged to the payment of the debt services bond issued by the state pursuant to 1013-68, 1013-70, and Statutes 1013-737. Debt services payable on bonds issued by the state pursuant to 1013-68, 1013-70, 1013-737 shall be payable from the secured by the first lien on the first lottery revenues transferred to the Educational Enhancement Trust Fund in each of the fiscal years. Amount distributed to each of the school districts. The request of the issuance of the bonds pursuant to the Section 1013-68(3) and hereby pledged to such bonds pursuant to Statute 11D and Article 7 of the State Constitution. The funds remaining in the operating trust fund after trust 3. The funds remaining in the operating trust fund after the transfers of Educational Enhancement Trust Fund shall be used for the payment of the administrative expenses of the department. These expenses shall include all costs incurred in the operation of the administrative of the lottery. Also results from the contracting entered in the purchase of the leasing good for the services required for the lottery, including but not limited to the compensation paid to retailers. B. The cost of supplies, materials, tickets, independent audit services, independent studies, data transmissions, advising, promotion, incentive, public relations, communication, security bond of the retailer, printing and distribution of tickets, reimbursement, other government entities for services provided by the lottery, and the cost of any other goods and services necessary effectuating the purpose of the Act. The encumbered balance of the remains of operating trust fund at the end of each fiscal year shall be transferred to the Educational Enhancement Trust Fund. 5A. The public educational program purposes funded for the Educational Enhancement Trust Fund may include, but not limited to, the endowment, scholarship, matching funds, direct grants, research, and economic development related to the education salary enhancement contracts, independent institution conduct programs consistent with the state master plan for the post-secondary education and other educational program purpose deemed desirable. Legislator prior to the expenditure of the funds at each of the school districts shall be established in policy procedures for the defining enhancement of the types of expenditure consistent with the definition except for the provided in C, D, and E. That legislature shall equitability operation money in the trust fund among the public schools in Florida College of the System and University. C. A portion of the state such revenues determined annually by the legislature shall be distributed to each district, shall be available for each public school in the district, enhancing the school performance through the development and implementation of the school improvement pursuant to the 1001.42.18, and the portion of the money determined annually in General Operation Acts must be allocated to each school in equal amount for each student enrolled. The money must be expended only on the program projects selected by the School Advisory Council or by the Advisory Committee created by the pursuant to this paragraph. If the school does not have a School Advisory Council, the District Advisory Council must appoint for the Parent Advisory Committee composed by the parent student enrolled in the school, which is the representative of the ethical, racial, economic, community service by the school to advise the school principal for the program of the projects to be funded. Neither the school's direct staff, principals may override the recommendations of the school's advisory council for the parent and advisory committee. The money these Neither a school district nor principals may override the recommendation of the school advisory council or a parents advisory council or parents advisory committee. The monies may not be used for capital improvements or for any other project or program for that during the duration for more than 1 year. A school advisory council or parent advisory committee may independently determine that the program project formerly funded by the paragraph should be received for the funds in a subsequent year. No funds shall be related for any purpose of the Educational Enhancement Trust Fund. Any school district in which one or more of the schools do not have an improved school improvement pursuant to the section statute 1001-42-18 do not comply with the school advisory council membership composition requirements pursuant to the 1045-821. The Commissioner of Education shall withhold disbursement of the trust fund to any of the school districts that fails to comply with the performance-based salary schedule required in 1012-22-1. All components of the Florida Bright Future Scholarship Program shall be funded annually by the Educational Trust Fund and shall be allocated prior to the allocation of the formula equitability distribution of the public schools of the Florida college system, the state universities. If shorter require reductions of the estimated distribution of the Educational Enhancement Trust Fund funds of the Florida Bright Future Scholarship Program shall be reduced only after the reduction in all other distributions are made. Each school district on a quarterly basis may approve the public distribute any of the easy understanding expenditures of the lottery funds allocated to the school district. These are the histories, the statute 21 to 8765, and anyways, moving on. I don't feel like reading the histories today. Tax paid on slot machine revenue provided yet another proceed of the Educational Enhancement Trust Fund. See Section 551.106 Florida State Statute established tax rate on the slot machine revenues of 35%. The state requires the slot machine revenue tax go to the Additional Enhancement Trust Fund. 551.106 license tax and rate penalty. License fee upon submission of the initial application for the slot machine license and annual thereafter anniversary date of the issuance of the initial license, the license must be decision a non-refundable license fee of the 3 million succeeding 12 months of licensure to the section in the 2010-11 official year. The license the license must pay the division of non-refundable license fee of $2.5 million succeeding 12 months of licensure. The 2011-2012 official year for every official year thereafter, the license must pay the division of non-refundable license fee of $2 million for the succeeding 12 months of the licensure. The licensure shall be deposited in the Pari-Mutuel Wagering Trust Fund of the Department of the Business Professional Regulation to be used in the division of perpetual wagering, pari-mutuel wagering. The Department of Law Enforcement Investigation Regulation Slot Machine Enforcement of slot machine provisions under the chapter the payment shall be accounted separately from taxes, fees, and pursuant to the provision in Chapter 550. Prior to the January 1st, 2007, the division shall evaluate the license fee and shall make recommendations to the President of the Senate and Speaker of the House of Representatives regarding the optimal level of the slot machine license and fees in order to adequately support the slot machine regulatory program. 2. The tax on the slot machine revenues. The tax on the slot machine revenues each of the facilities shall have 35% during any state of the fiscal aggregate amount of the tax paid to the state by all slot machine licenses. Broward and Miami-Dade counties is less than an aggregated amount tax paid in the state of all machines in the 2008-2009 fiscal year. Each slot machine licenses shall pay the state within 45 days after the end of the fiscal year subcharge equal to the pro rata share amount of the equal difference between the aggregated amount of the tax paid to the state, but all the slot machines licensed in 2008 through 2009 fiscal year, the amount of the tax paid during the fiscal year each license pro rata shall be the amount determined the dividend in number one of the number of facilities licensed to operate slot machines during the applicable fiscal year, regardless of whether the facility is operating a slot machine. The slot machine revenue and its tax imposed in section shall be paid for the division deposit of the Pari-Mutuel Wagering Trust Fund for immediate transfer to the Chief Financial Officer for deposit of the Educational Enhancement Trust Fund for the Department of Education. Any interest earnings of the tax revenue shall be transferred to the Educational Enhancement Trust Fund. C. A trust fund funds transferred to the Educational Enhancement Trust Fund under the paragraph shall be supplemental public education statewide if necessary to comply with the covenant established in pursuant with Section 113.68.4 and 113.70 1 and 113.737 funds transferred to the Educational Enhancement Fund under the paragraph B shall be first be available to debt services on lottery bonds issued by the fund school instruction of in the event of lottery of revenues insufficient for the purposes or to satisfy the debt services reserve requirements established in connection with lottery bonds. Monies available pursuant in subparagraph A are subject to annual appropriation and legislator the payment of disposition of taxes. Payments on a tax on the slot machine revenues imposed to the section shall be paid, but the division shall be deposited these sums. Chief Financial Officer of the Accredited Per Mutual Wagering Trust Fund. The slot machine licenses shall remit division payment of the taxes on slot machine revenues, since the payments shall be remitted by 3 p.m. on the Wednesday each week for the taxes imposed collected in the preceding week and ending on a Sunday, beginning on July 1st, 2012. The slot machine license shall remit the division payment of the tax slot machine revenues by 3 p.m. on the first day of each calendar month of the taxes imposed on the collected on the preceding calendar month. If the fifth date of the calendar month falls in the weekend, payments shall be remitted at 3 p.m. the first Monday following the weekend. The slot machine license shall file the report under the oath of the fifth day of each of the calendar month of all the taxes remitted during the preceding calendar month. Since the payment shall be accompanied the report under the oath showing all slot machines gaming activities for the preceding calendar year, shall other information as may be prescribed by the division. For the failure to pay tax machine penalties, the slot machine license will fail to make tax penalties as required under this section, subject to the administrative penalty of up to $10,000 for each day the tax penalty is remitted. All administrative penalties imposed by the collected and shall be deposited in the Perpetual Wagering Trust Fund of the Department of Business Professional Regulation. If in any machine licenses fails to pay the penalties imposed in order the division under the subsection, the division may suspend, revoke, refuse, renew the license of the slot machine licensor. Is 5. Submission of funds. Division may require the slot machine to license and remit taxes, fees, funds, taxes, fees, fines, and assessments of electronic funds transfer. History. The state history. Statute 1, Chapter 2005 through 362. Statute 1, 2006 through 2007. 2006 through 2006 through 27, Statute 1, Chapter 2007 through 59, Statute 5, 2007 through 252, Statute 221, Statute Chapter 2009 through 1070, Statute 4 and 5, Chapter 2010 to 29. Section 10.10.70, Florida State Law, amended the Section 3 of the Chapter 2005 to 84 laws. Federal provide each fiscal year variable percentage of the gross revenue of the sales online instant lottery tickets that are determined by the Department of the Lottery. Other revenue, excluding application processing fees, shall be deposited in the Educational Enhancement Trust Fund, which is created by the Florida Public Education Lottery Act. The remaining monies are used to pay expenses on the running of the lottery. Section 24.121 Florida State Statutes requires that at the end of each fiscal year encumbered with the funds of the Department of the Lottery operating budgets to transfer to the Educational Enhancement Trust Fund. Another source of the revenue Educational Enhancement Trust Fund is dealer collection allowances. Section 212.1D1 Florida State Statute states the sales and the use of tax dealerships entitled sales and the use of tax dealers who are entitled to collection allowance for the compensation for keeping the prescribed records, filing timely returns, conducting proper accounting, remitting taxes on the time of the May elected their collection allowance of the Educational Enhancement Trust Fund. Here's a pie graph. It shows the 2013-2014 Educational Enhancement Lottery Trust Funds distribution. Educational includes the Bright Future Scholarship Program. And you see in the white, you see 13% colleges, blue in the state university, 14.7%, and the maroon, the student financial aid is at 22.4%, and in the gray, the public schools at 49.9%. The educational shares of the lottery and slot machine proceeds deposited Educational Enhancement Trust Fund. Each of these legislators determines the programs which is funded for the educational share of the lottery. Slot machines proceeds in the amount of such funding of the 1991 legislator beginning of the policy providing lump sum funding for the school district Florida college system and the state universities. The school district Florida college system state universities were assigned responsibility for the defining of how they plan to use the funding of the educational enhancement. With the Chapter 97 to 77 of the laws, Florida 1997 legislature established Florida Bright Future Scholarship was in the intention that all components of the program may be funded in the Educational Enhancement Trust Fund Section 1009 point 53, Florida State Statute, Bright Futures appropriation of the fund remainder of the funds distributed by the educational delivery system in 2013-2014. Approximately 50% will be distributed to the school district, 13% of the Florida college system, 15% to the state university, 19% for the Bright Futures, and 3% for other student financial aid. As a Smart Schools Act of 1997, the legislature established 20-year capital outlay funding program designed to provide approximately $2 billion in lottery funds to school district construction permanent classrooms under this act. Classroom First program, the effort index of small and county assessment programs were created to evaluate overcrowding Florida public schools needed for the relocatable portable classrooms. These programs were mainly funded through issuances of bonds supported by lottery revenue. Other programs supported by lottery revenues include classrooms of the kids and district effort recognition programs, which are established in 2003 legislature to provide fundings of the classroom size reduction projects to school districts comply with the constitutional provision of the reducing class size. To date, the legislature has granted over $1.9 billion in fixed capital outlay operations funded through the issuance of the bonds supported by the lottery revenues for this purpose. Here's a breakdown of educational enhancement, lottery trust funds, public schools, Florida colleges and state universities, and other in total operations. This goes from 1987 to 2013-14. We'll read the 2014-13. It looks like they had a gradual. Public schools are at 803 million. Florida schools are at 209. State universities are 236 million. Others at 359 million, and in a total operation of 1.6 billion dollars. For example, for 2002, 2004, 2005, other category did not consist entirely of student financial aid. Additional fixed capital outlay operations were received in the Lottery Capital Outlay Trust Fund as embodied into reduced class size. The appropriation is funded issuance bonds supported by the lottery revenues. Another picture here is a bar graph with educational enhancement, lottery trust funds, and operations. You see 100% to 0%, the years 87 to 88 to 2008 to 99 2000 school year. The blue is public schools, which it's about 60% all the way through across the margin, sometimes 70. Florida colleges is a midway bar between 60 and 70%, causing a 14 to 7. 15% mostly is its plateau into a 12% rating. The yellow state universities are from 70 to 90% of 27, with a peak of 22% in early 1987 to 88, with a small marginal error in 88 and 99 is 7, and then back through about 12 to 15%. Through 89 through 99 2000, and in last, the other is at the very top. The percentile is about 90%. The largest peak runs is about 2%, 22%, 2%, and through a couple years from 91 through 96, 97, 0% into the 97, 98, 99, 10%, 15%, and 17%. Educational enhancement, lottery trust fund operations, operating capital outlay. Once again, public schools, Florida colleges, publics in the blue, Florida colleges in the maroon, state colleges in the yellow, and other in the blue, light blue. Top percent, the educational enhancement, lottery operating capital outlay in blue was from reaches the 80 was at the top 80 to 100%, and projectile at 25%, about 25 to 30%. The state universities took about an average of 12, 15%, from 80% to 70% latitudes. Florida College was in between 10% is in 70 to 60% of the Florida Educational Lottery Trust Amendments, and public schools took a large sum as at 60 and a lowering amount of 50%. So Educational Enhancement Lottery Trust Funds. Public Schools, 2013-2014, classroom size reduction. Capital classroom size reduction, lottery capital outlay program debit services, and classroom first bonded program debt services projection, first educational finance program, school district discretionary lottery fund, school recognitions. Workforce education non-FEP, Florida College System program funds, educational facility debt services, state universities, educational general activities, UF, institution of food agricultural agencies, University of South Florida Medical Center, University of Florida Health Center, Florida State University Medical School, and educational and facility student financial aid, Florida by School Future Scholarship Program, First Generation College Match Grant Program, and state student financial aid, with a total department at 1.5 billion dollars in the 2012 year, and the 2013-14 year at 1.6 billion dollars. District School Board, Florida College Systems Trustees, University Board of Trustees determine expenditure of these and enhance education. 1. The additional fixed capital outlay appropriations were received by local capital outlay trust funds to project reduced class size. The appropriations are funded by the issuance bonds supported by the lottery revenues. The debt service reflects the payment of the bonds. Some more. This is another educational enhancement, lottery trust funds, public schools, reduction, state university, community college, student financial aid in the department. What it shows is the caps of $1 billion from $1.4 billion, $1.3 billion, and $1.4 billion. Or they were idle around in total departments of all student aid, financial, state, university, community college, and public schools. Once again, 2006, 2007, 2008. These are we're going through each of the year. Like I said in the drop, they have different pages from 14 to 20 where it drops a year. See the 1999, 2000 apparitions. These are just charts. Go back to the reading. Okay, in educational appropriate apparitions. It shows their apparitions. Alright, and that's part 1.